Hello everyone, this is Skip Farr from Hard Dollar Corporation. This session I'd like to deal with what we would call the job tracking register in Hard Dollar. This assumes that we've entered in some employment tracking, some timesheet information. Even though that is not required, you can still use our job tracking register directly without having any timesheet information. But in this example, I'm going to assume that we have some timesheet stuff. So I got the start page up here. I'm going to quickly go back to the library, the timesheet warehouse, and I've entered in 3 periods of timesheet information. Now, of course, before we can bring information from here down to the job tracking, it has to have a particular status. I'm going to right-click on one of these timesheets, and you may notice that we allow you to put different kinds of statuses. For the manager who's managing this warehouse, was it submitted, was it approved, rejected, was it revised, that kind of information. We also use these in terms with our timesheet collector, that other timesheet information that we do allow the foreman in the field to enter in the timesheet on a particular form, click a button, and wirelessly synchronize that data back into the timesheet warehouse here. So the status allows the communication between the field and the warehouse here. In order for the data to be ready to come down to the job tracking register, it has to be published. I've already published these timesheets. I'm going to scroll over where you can see the published date and the dollars. So that tells me that I'm ready now to download this information into the job tracking register, where then I can compare the estimated costs with the actuals. So back to the job. I've opened up the job tracking register. I'm using this cost item here, my excavation. Notice there's a little plus box here. Tells me that I have in fact downloaded some timesheet data. What I did, I went to data source and I said download. Now while I have this here, you notice there's some other options. I can import from Excel basically quantities, man-hour information into this job tracking register. We may import an XML format, which is accounting information, costs, hours, and so forth from your counting. So that's one option. In other words, you do not have to use the timesheet warehouse, enter time within Hard Dollar. You can bring it from your accounting systems if you want to. Different ways to input data into the job tracking register from outside sources. What I've done is simply use the timesheet warehouse, downloaded some timesheets. So I'm going to open up the record. And here we are. This is my first record on my excavation. These are the 3 timesheets that I downloaded. So now, me as a project manager, at the end of the day, timesheets have been approved, they've been published. I can come in here, take a look. I wonder how this job is doing. So we have a number of different views here for you. This first one is the current status. So basically, we're comparing this information from the estimate as compared to what we call the as-built. This is what came from my timesheet information. So we give you the difference and the percentage. So quantity-wise, I'm over 10% done. So I can take those percentages for the durations, productivity, man-hours, equipment hours, costs, and so forth. So this is one way to take a look and see how am I doing. In other words, if I'm 10% done on quantity, and I'm 8% done on cost, well, I'm probably pretty good. Well, I can see where I'm over on my man hours, over on my durations, so maybe something's not quite right. So what we do, we take this percent complete on quantity, calculate that times the estimate to give you what we're going to call the plan to date. Another term could be your earned value. So now we're comparing where you should be today based on my percent complete against the actual cost. So now I have a little closer look, and I can see that my costs are looking good, but I'm not getting anything done. I'm behind on my days, I'm behind on my productivity, man hours, and equipment hours. So as a pure manager, costs are not always the issue. Costs may look good, but I'm not getting enough accomplished. So that's what this shows me right off the bat. So if I were a project manager, I would say, hey, costs looking good, but we need to update our productivity. We need to get things done quicker and faster, go to the field, have a discussion, see what's going on. I'd like to see this kind of information at 10% complete versus 90% complete when it's too late to make any decisions. So in a nutshell, we're providing this management information so that you can decide how the job is doing in a timely manner so that you can make decisions before it's too late. Quickly, we have some other tabs here. Productivity. This is what's planned. You can see my red and green are almost the same, the average and the latest, so I'm not getting anything done. My man hours, the estimate, the actual, the forecast. So right now, my forecast man hours is going to be greater. Same with the equipment hours. Look at your costs, the planned, to date, the actual, the variance. How am I doing on dollar-wise? And of course, we can forecast. The estimate, the forecast, the variance. Right now, I'm looking pretty good. Dollar-wise, we're forecasting I'll make money. Again, that may not help me if I run over on time, which in the end may have an impact to me schedule-wise and liquidated damages and so forth. But just quickly, we give you 3 ways to forecast. Based on plant production, based on the average, based on the latest. What that means is, what unit cost do we apply against the remaining quantities to forecast the results to compare with the estimate? So we got the actual cost. We take a unit cost times remaining quantity. So this would be the planned, that would be the average, and my latest unit cost here would be the one I would use against the remaining quantity. So let's take a quick look. I'm using the estimated now, so we're forecasting that. If I change my forecast option to, say, the average, we're forecasting it's going to cost me only that. I'd make a lot more money. If I change the forecast to the latest, this is what it would be. This is the variance. So, depending on what percent complete you are, you might decide what forecasting method you would want to use to give you a better picture of the job when it's complete. I've got this from timesheet information. You can add your own information here. You can add your own quantities, your man hours, percent completes. You can add your own expense essentially. You can do it manually. I'm going to right click and say new. Up comes the form. I can put in my own quantities, my own man hours. I can add my own expenses in dollars if I want to. So you can make an additions to the cost in this job tracking register if you like. And if you do, it's going to be called direct entry. I didn't enter anything in there, so I'm going to delete this so it's not cluttered up. In a nutshell, we're giving you the ability to take a look at the job, the status, based on accurate enough information in a timely manner so you as a manager can manage the job. I was looking at just this subordinate cost item. Maybe I'm interested in a superior. I can do that as well. Open it up. This is my level 1. I can see how it's doing. If I'm interested in the job, I can open up the jobs record. How am I doing job-wise? What's my percent complete? How am I doing job-wise? So, again, we want to give you, the manager, enough information in a timely manner before it's too late so that you can make decisions. We have different views here. We can filter by resource, by assemblies, other ways to do this. We can set forecasting methods and so forth. But this is our job tracking register. There's a lot of columns here. You can create your own views on this register. We provided some that you can certainly use and take a look. Again, so that you don't have to wait for accounting. That may be 30 days late before you get any information. We're providing you with this information now so that you, as a manager, can control the job before it's too late. That's all I want to say. Thank you for your time.